If you're between 4 and 40 years old, you've probably watched at least one episode of Peppa Pig, right? But have you ever stopped to think that behind this seemingly simple and colorful cartoon, there are many mysteries that have never been solved? Does Peppa have two personalities? Peppa Pig, the star of the show, is a character who sometimes surprises us. This is because, throughout the series, we see her displaying both bad behavior and incredibly loving actions. If you've watched the episode Susie Goes Away, you might remember the little argument that Peppa and Susie had during the farewell. This is one of those moments where Peppa can be seen acting a bit cruelly, calling her best friend Bossy out of the blue. Moreover, on several other occasions, we see Peppa kicking her little brother George out of the room without showing any compassion. All of this would make Peppa seem like a mean person, wouldn't it? That would be true if she didn't also show such kindness at various times. For instance, at the same time she does all the things we just mentioned, she's capable of tickling George just to see him smile again. What a shift in attitude, right? This makes us wonder, are we dealing with two different Peppas, two personalities within one character? Perhaps there's a cheeky side and a more gentle side coexisting within this pink little pig? This question lingers, and it would certainly explain Peppa's odd behavior. Indeed, Peppa Pig is full of mysteries, and this is just one of them. Join us in this video as we explore the 10 biggest mysteries surrounding the world's most beloved pink pig. Now let's uncover more secrets from the amazing universe of Peppa Pig. Is the zoo a prison? Peppa's world is almost entirely inhabited by anthropomorphic animals, meaning creatures that behave like humans. This is one of the show's great charms. Although it seems like a place full of peace and harmony, the truth is that not all characters are completely good. A classic example is Mr. Fox, who has been caught several times stealing small items. Another character with questionable instincts is Mr. Wolf, who has openly admitted his desire to devour poor Daddy Pig. But have you ever wondered what happens if any of these characters actually break the law? Well, this is where the theories come in. Many believe that the zoo might serve as the prison of this universe, since it's an enclosed place, preventing the animals from escaping. For instance, the zoo staff's uniforms are blue, the same color as the city police officers' uniforms, as if they were an extension of the law enforcement. All of this makes us ponder, is Peppa Pig's zoo actually a large prison for criminal animals? That would make perfect sense, don't you think? Who are Daddy Pig's parents? Throughout the series, we meet Grandma and Grandpa Pig, who are Peppa and George's maternal grandparents. They appear in several episodes and are quite present in the family's life. However, when we look at Daddy Pig's side, the only family members we meet are his brother and his two kids, Chloe and Alexander. But so far, we have never seen or even heard about Daddy Pig's parents. This raises a series of questions. Have they passed away? Or are they living somewhere far away from the busy life of the pig family? It would be fascinating to discover what they are like and what lifestyle they lead if they are still alive, of course. This mystery certainly leaves fans curious to learn more about the pig family's past. Are Madame Gazelle's sisters also vampires? Those who closely follow Peppa Pig may have noticed that Madame Gazelle, the children's teacher, has all the traits of a vampire. She has no reflection, possesses superhuman strength, and, to top it off, she loves bats. Additionally, it's been revealed that she also enjoys swimming at the beach in winter. All of this leads us to believe that Madame Gazelle is, in fact, a vampire. But don't think of her as an evil vampire. Quite the opposite. Madame Gazelle is an excellent teacher who taught Peppa's parents over 30 years ago. Now, what you might not know is that Madame Gazelle has two sisters, Greta and Gretel. They came from the same homeland, the famous Transylvania, known for being home to vampires like Dracula. With that in mind, the question arises, could Madame Gazelle's sisters also be vampires? It's quite possible since they share the same origin and perhaps even the same curse. This is a mystery the show never clarifies, but it would be amazing to see the three vampire sisters in action without sucking anyone's blood. And if you'd like to solve this mystery one day, just like us, comment down below, vampire. Where is the little cow? In Peppa Pig, we see new kids entering Madame Gazelle's school throughout the series, but we also notice that some simply disappear without any explanation. Undoubtedly, the strangest disappearance is that of the little cow, who has appeared at various moments alongside Mrs. Cow and Mr. Bull, and we assumed she was the couple's daughter. For example, we saw the little cow with Mr. Bull entering the supermarket, and another time with Mrs. Cow in a utility store. But the odd thing is that if you watched the latest Peppa movie, which focuses on the wedding of the two bovines, you probably noticed that the little cow didn't appear at the event, which is quite intriguing. To make the mystery even bigger, we realize that never in any of the more than 300 episodes of Peppa Pig do we see the little cow at Peppa's school. So, where is the little cow? Will she return someday? This question continues to linger, and all we can do is wait for the mystery to be solved in some future episode. Madame Gazelle's husband. Returning to the enigmatic Madame Gazelle, we must admit that she is one of the characters surrounded by the most mysteries. Besides being confirmed as a vampire, as we've seen in other episodes, a new enigma arises about her past. In the episode Visiting Madame Gazelle's House, we see a black and white portrait of a well-dressed man wearing clothes from the 1940s, hanging on the wall. Apparently, this would be the late husband of the children's teacher. But what truly intrigues us is that in another episode during a visit to the museum, we see an image of a character that looks very much like this man, although he is wearing typical 18th century attire. Are we dealing with the same character? Could it be that Madame Gazelle's husband has lived for over 100 years? If so, how would that be possible? If he is a vampire, just like his wife, that would explain everything. Even so, this is yet another intriguing mystery in the Peppa universe that we love to try to unravel. Who's behind the vegetables? One of the most bizarre and intriguing things in the world of Peppa Pig is undoubtedly the talking vegetables, like Mr. Potato, who have become TV stars. But who are they really? Seen with Mr. Potato, there are two main theories that fans have created to explain these talking vegetables. Either they are genuinely vegetables that have come to life, or they are actually animals disguised as vegetables, making that their profession. The most curious part is that these vegetables encourage children to eat more vegetables, which doesn't make much sense if we think about the fact that they themselves are vegetables. This would be somewhat like Peppa, or a member of her family saying that eating bacon is good, which would be quite weird. Wouldn't you agree? This mystery is one of the most curious, and it would be amazing if the creators of the series could give us a definitive explanation of what's behind these talking vegetables. Why does Madame Gazelle have a trauma with glitter? Did you know that Madame Gazelle, besides being a vampire, also has a rather strange fear? In the episode Masks, we see the children excitedly creating their masks, and they all ask to use glitter. But at that moment, Madame Gazelle has a very strange reaction, almost a meltdown. She starts shaking and blinking her eyes, as if she's reliving some old trauma. But what could have happened to her to give her such a deep fear of glitter? To heighten the mystery, we see that the glitter is kept in a safe at school, and no one has access to it, except for Gazelle herself. Could this be a vulnerability of vampires to glitter? Perhaps that's why she's so fearful of it. This is one of the mysteries that the show hasn't explained yet, but we love to imagine the reason behind it. These are just a few of the biggest mysteries surrounding the Peppa Pig universe. If you enjoy seeing everything about Peppa's world, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you won't miss our upcoming videos. Is the Peppa show hidden? One of the most intriguing theories circulating among Peppa Pig fans suggests that the show featuring the pink little pig and her family is actually filmed secretly, without the characters knowing they are being recorded. It sounds like a crazy idea, but there are some details that support this theory. When an episode starts, we often see the camera zooming in through the windows of the houses or the school, almost like the zoom from a hidden, distant camera. The same thing happens at the end, like in this episode, where the scene pulls back through the window while Peppa and George go to sleep. And you know what makes it even more curious? Some believe that Miss Rabbit might be behind it all. After all, how does she manage to work so many jobs at once? If she were the director of the show, she could claim to have as many jobs as she wanted, don't you think? So, the question lingers, are we watching the life of the pig family without them knowing? If this is true, it would be pretty sinister. Is Edmund Elephant a dwarf? Edmund Elephant is undoubtedly the smartest character in the series, but there's something that doesn't quite add up. He is the same age as George, that is, around 2 years old, but his level of knowledge is absurdly higher than that of any other child, or even adults. While the other children are still learning to use the potty, like George, Edmund already understands advanced scientific concepts, raising suspicions about his true age. This has led to the theory that Edmund may actually have dwarfism and be much older than he appears. perhaps even older than his sister Emily. This would explain why he is so intelligent, even though he is still small. Could he be a true genius disguised as a child? And for today, we'll wrap it up here, but it doesn't have to stop. We have 2 amazing videos waiting for you, selected for you to continue your Peppa marathon. So just click and watch because I'm sure you'll enjoy them a lot. See you in the next video. Thanks!